Yo, yo, yo. We're gonna need a 10-minute moment of silence for all of the bears. That will commence for the first 10 minutes of this stream. What's up, Owen? Don? Zelva? Zelva is bullish. Sometimes it's that easy. Sometimes you get a setup and the probabilities say higher and you buy and you keep buying and you're holding and then it breaks out and here we are. A lot of people seem to get bamboozled by this move. I don't know why. I don't know why. Rachi's he's 100x long. I bet you someone's 1000x long. We'll get started in a sec. If you want me to look at anything, let me know. I will try to reserve judgment if it is not outperforming BTC. There's a lot of meme coins doing very well, obviously. We'll take a look at that. DeFi stuff. I mean, some of it, like the syrup chart somebody was talking about, that's red on the day. You know, why is that red on the day? Well, it's probably red on the day because it was up 5x or whatever from lows and everything else wasn't, you know? So I say this a lot, but when you've got something up that much, it's just how much more do you want? Yes, you can be bullish. Yes, you can believe in the narrative, etc., etc. But you just got to read the room a little bit when something's up as much as that, as quickly as that was. And it probably keeps going after the Genius Act gets passed and stablecoin stuff, right? But it's just on a relative value basis on the day, it didn't make sense to me to keep holding something like that. And you could say the same for all of the Mag 7 relative to small caps. It's the same mentality, the same mindset. What's up, Karen? Oh, we got video. I'm just waiting. MG, what's up? We for sure have video. Let's take a look at funding. The ETF's also picking up a little bit of steam here. That's good to see. That's what you want if you're bullish. You always want to see more as far as flows on that front. We'll take a look at funding. Turn the screen on. It's just too much. Why would I say take profit here? We literally just broke out. What is there to do? There's nothing to do. This is why you spend all this time analyzing, making a decision, looking at the probabilities, figuring out the setup. Today's a do nothing day. Most of probably the rest of this month is going to be do nothing month. If you position correctly, then there's nothing to do. Guys, I know you can't see the screen because I didn't turn it on yet. But that's the whole reason I did that Tuesday video. I set up Sunday. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I can tell you what I'm doing with mine, and I can tell you to what degree I'm confident. Who said to take profit? Put that guy in jail. Well, we're in the hodler hat. We are still proudly hodling. I got the mic in my mouth. You can hear all my salivary sounds. This is for the sound people, the sound police. I don't want to see the screen. Turn it off. Funding is still relatively tame here. This is about what people are paying to be long. If funding is extremely high, that means the majority of the market is long. That means the majority of the market is paying significantly to be long. And kind of like an option, there's a time component on that because you can't stay that long forever because it'll just keep eating away at your unrealized profit or your position entirely. So we are not even to the point of funding that we were at the end of 2024, at the beginning of 2024, at the end of 2023, not even close to that. We aren't even to the point on funding that we saw in May. So no, I wouldn't be worried about closing anything here. We can look at ETH. It's really just been a Bitcoin and ETH show, a little bit of alts on the memes, like I said, and Ripple too. Ripple looks really good. And I am not a Ripple person, you know that. What's ETH look like down here? Yeah, funding's just kind of quiet. I can't tell you the amount of people I saw talking about, oh man, this is gonna trap so many people. This is a crowded trade. This is too easy. Okay, I mean, look at funding. The market is telling you funding is extremely tame. Hopefully you can see that, yeah. Funding is nothing on Ethereum. Nothing. It hasn't even made a higher high yet. So I don't know what people are crying about. I don't know what people are crying about. But we got plenty of room. Here's the ETFs. ETF flows past week on BTC, 216, 80, 215. We don't need to see 600 a day. We just need, it'll take care of itself. A couple 100 million a day. That's a lot for any ETF, let alone a pair of ETFs. Most of this, of course, is coming from BlackRock and IBIT, but that's great numbers. And then there's ETH, which has an even smaller market cap than BTC by a significant margin, seeing similar inflows. So that's going to have a greater impact. And of course, you've got the treasury companies on top of this. I thought they had this in here. Maybe they don't. Lots of people are buying right now, which is good. You just have to remember, eventually there's going to be a time, not probably soon, probably 2026, but you got to remember in the back of your head, there's going to be a time when there are more sellers than buyers, and that's a time to step aside and probably go do something else. And potentially even short. But that is not today. That is not this day when you are at all-time highs, pushing over and over and over again. I salute the people that are shorting. They make this rise quicker. They make this rise more exhaustive, more explosive is the word I'm looking for. What's up, Jack? Dangles. I'm not surprised to see funding low because, again, everybody's like, I can't tell you the amount of people that I saw fading what seems to be a pretty obvious attempt at making a new all-time high. So I don't really understand it, but yeah, I don't know. The TA is there. The TA was the TA, right? Like, there's not much else to say. You had all the stars aligning. Most importantly, liquidity. We just raised the debt ceiling a bunch. We're printing a bunch of debt. We're moving everything to the short end. Like, it's a mess. It is an absolute mess. And if BTC is rising, that's telling you they're screwing up. They're screwing up by issuing too much debt. And if you think they're going to fix that problem, you should sell all your BTC today. If you think they don't have the ability and cannot fix that problem and will not fix that problem and won't fix that problem, BTC is the asset for you. That's all there is to it. Because this is endless. And this is also dollar devaluation. And this isn't right or left. This is everybody. This is politics. This is what's been going on. So yeah, that's a great tailwind. You've got the regulatory tailwind. You got the TA tailwind. You've got CME cot positioning tailwind. All this stuff looks very good for continuation. So nothing's changed, right? We've been talking about this for a long time. Everybody's been talking about this for a long time. And it's not just crypto. If you look at the airlines today, jets, that's a god candle for them. Look at this thing. US Global Jets ETF. God candle. You'll also recognize probably a few things here. You have an inverted head and shoulders. You've got a cloud breakout. And this chart kind of looks like ETH, and it kind of looks like IWM. Same story. IWM continues to look great. Continues to look like it has plenty of room to go higher. This is a small cap story. This is a broadening out story. This is just a relative value story. Why aren't people buying Mag 7 as much as they were relative to now? Well, it's just, NVIDIA hit 4 trillion. How much more is left? A 2x, maybe. I don't know. Like these companies are going to be around. They're going to do great. But at some point, people start looking around and say, okay, I need to broaden out a little bit. And that's what you're seeing certainly in crypto. It's not anything different than that. You've also got regional banks. We can go there. Regional banks. What does this tell you? Like, are these great businesses? Are these zombie companies? Doesn't matter. Here we are, right? This is Ethereum. This is the story of Ethereum, literally, right? It's the same. It's the same thing over and over and over again. That's why when we were talking about comparing coin to total 2 or coin to the miners to ETH to IWM, to see one of the sectors start popping off for any reason whatsoever is very bullish for everything. We can even look at XLF, which is financials, similar story. Bit of a mess, but you know, it had the same thing. You can clearly see something similar to that. That's also at all-time highs. This is banks. So there's a lot of sectors outside of tech that are doing well. IGV is the tech ETF, had been doing very well, pulling back a little bit. What's another one? SMH, starting to reach its level of take profit. So if you compare this to crypto sitting at all-time highs, waiting, makes sense. Everything else is at an all-time high, right? Why not BTC? Thanks, Jack. Just buy the first positive ETF flow and sell on the negative. There was a chart somebody was posting. I don't remember who it was. It was either the Bitwise or Fidelity guy, maybe. I forget. But he was saying when the BlackRock flows go negative, that's typically a bottom. At least that's what we've seen. This is the first column here we're looking at. Almost never do you see flows out of BlackRock. Sometimes they're just like monthly or quarterly rebalancing flows, but if you just look at this column, very rarely do you see outflows from IBIT. And when we have, it has tended to be the bottom or close to the bottom. This is clearly like end of year rebalancing. So just something to keep in mind. Here's a string in February to March. March again, just tons of rebalancing going on there, along with probably some sort of capitulation. But I think you get the point. Just another little data nugget to think about. You can literally trade with Josh's video titles. I was very nonplussed with alts for a long time, and that has changed, obviously, with what's been going on over the past couple weeks. And the video titles have reflected that, hopefully. So I guess we'll start with BTC. Nothing's changed. It's just, this is waiting on the breakout. You're getting a 3-day Bollinger Band breakout. You're getting a TK recross, price above cloud, new all-time high. There's a little mini pattern here that we're breaking out of. We're breaking out of the larger cup and handle. We're breaking out of this thing, right? Whatever. Like, it measures way higher than this. So let it do its thing. There's also a case to be made. If I can remember, was it this? Yeah, so like the end of cycle. I don't know if they have log fibs on here. I don't think they do. If we go here, let me just pull it up. We will flashbang everybody here, just because I know I have it. Yeah, so there's this cup and handle chart from 2024 that it's still active. Like, it is a weekly chart. It's super high time frame, but this is like end of cycle target, in my opinion. If we're still in the 4-year cycles, which I could care less. I'm just here to trade. on a week-to-week basis, this still has plenty of upside. So this still looks good. Then of course you have this nested cup and handle up here. None of that's bearish. And if you compare this to 2022, what was different then? We pretty clearly had a double top, a head and shoulders at the end. We had a failed ascending triangle. This was the Luna stuff that was crashing at that time after they bought BTC. So it was a mess. You also had in here in 2021, you had a lot of funds, not publicly but privately, that bought around the time post-COVID when Saylor started buying. You had a lot of hedge funds that were selling up here. I forget the name of the big one, but there was one of them in particular that was definitely selling in April. I don't hear a lot about that now. Now you tend to hear about that after the fact, but all you hear now is treasury companies just spinning up debt and buying, right? That's not bad in the near term. Aaron, curve better be the best looking chart I haven't looked at in a week. I know it's not, so calm down, bro. Calm down. Yeah, so we got plenty of room on that. Looks fine. Here's the other cup and handle that we're currently living in, 142, 164. There's a yearly pivot at 122. There's a yearly pivot at 150. I would just watch this with daily Williams fractals and go take a hike, go fly a kite, go touch some grass, whatever. Like this is what you'd expect to happen. This is as it was drawn. We've got the power law corridor also. Like if you want to get turbo bullish, there's this thing. 443 currently is the upside, and we're still at the midpoint, right? Like this hasn't even, the party hasn't really started, is what this is telling you. It's saying, hey, if this gets to be anything like 2021 or 2017, 2013, 2014, whatever, that is the red zone. That's the parabolic banana zone, whatever, like call it whatever you want, right? And it's telling you, okay, maximum topside target if we went straight there today was 446. So what's the best way to trade this and capture this? Probably lower leverage, but a little bit of leverage, maybe a large percentage of your portfolio, like we were talking about on Tuesday. Not financial advice, but if not now, when? That's the question. If not now, when? That bearish TK cross was more of a closed longs and open shorts. The recross tells you, I agree, Pepe Chad. If somebody was asking. It'll flip bearish today, Edward, that TK cross for sure. Can you explain a bit more why you ignored the bearish TK cross? Yeah, so everything else wasn't bearish. It was a minor signal. And we also were still consolidating. You know, we weren't going anywhere. We were also not below. Price was not below the TK cross either. Contrast that with something back here. That takes a lot more relevance than what we saw, in my opinion. You know, even if we rewind the clock, I was very, very bearish back here because we had a combination of head and shoulders bearish TK cross. Price was at the cloud, and then Saylor saved it or whoever, right? Somebody came in and saved it. But anytime the chart looks like this, I can't be bullish. Absolutely not. The difference this time was we were above the key June, more importantly, that red line. Now this took a minute to reconsolidate and break down finally. And then it took a very long time in the 95 zone, right? So it's always important to just remember that for 150, 250, 350, whatever the price ends up being. I don't know. I think we're going to have trouble getting above 250 this year, but whatever it is, when it is, whatever it looks like, I would remember this. I would remember what it looked like in 2024. Anytime you get in the cloud, that's just a slowing down time. Not a great look most of the time. In the cloud, slow down, take the gas off the brakes, back above the cloud, back on the gas. So anyway, still looks good. Plenty of room, no issues. People still in disbelief here. What else can we look at on? I guess the 2-year. Do I have it on here? Yeah. The 2-year moving average multiplier also looks fine. Like, the slower this goes, the more agonizing it is, the more chop on our way up. The longer this is just going to continue. Currently, the midpoint's at 200, 333 is the top. No coincidence there. Trump will push out Jay Powell when he's done. When Jay Powell is done, he will leave, but not a moment before. Trump will install a shadow Fed person that's going to say, he's going to say, this is the next guy, listen to him. That's what he's going to say. Why don't they redraw the top red line lower on the power law chart? I don't know what that means. Bearish TK cross. DCA and 2 to 3x leverage at the bottom. I don't know. It's hard to use leverage at the bottom because you know, you want the cycles to be extended. So you're kind of rooting against yourself in a way, because just as everybody wants a God candle every day for the rest of their life, that's not how markets work. So you're paying funding or margin or whatever for an extended period of time. So if that works out for you, I guess, but you know, I'd rather play it from breakout to breakout and then take profit, right? So, like, I guess the ultimate question, as people are sort of hinting at it, where would I take profit here? We can do this thought exercise, like I just said with the yearly pivots. I was trying to find it. I wouldn't take profit at 122, and I wouldn't blindly take profit at 150, but I'd be willing to set a percentage of asks between 140 and 170 and just forget about it. That's completely reasonable. I would watch the daily Williams fractals. I have tons of videos on this on my channel if you're curious, but ultimately you do not want to be making lower lows. We just had this hyper low volatility congestion period. You're going to have a ton of fractals here. These are all pointless, meaningless, and useless, not to be paid attention to most of the time. That's not what I'm talking about. What we're talking about here is similar to post breakout in election 2024. You didn't really get a fractal on any of this stuff. If we redraw this, it's not like we're reinventing the wheel here. It's the same story over and over and over again, at least the stuff that I use. Nothing really changes. You had your breakout roughly pre-election in October, and you get a series of fractals here. There's one. These are your trailing stop losses. You want a daily close below that level to get out. And for several days, weeks, you don't get a single fractal, and you just do nothing. You do nothing, and then the next time you see a fractal, that's your next stop loss. And so you've moved your stop loss effectively from 67K to 90. And then as we keep drawing fractals, those are your stop losses. We don't actually breach a fractal until, gee, when did we breach a fractal here? Fractal. I don't know if we did. I think at this point, the TK cross pulls you out. There was a rising wedge here that pulls you out. But, you know, like, look, this is telling you, just stay the hell in. Stop trying to get out. Stop trying to think about it. Even as messy and gross as this range was, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's the TK cross that would have pulled you out here. I can't exactly remember. but that's fine, right? Let's say you're in from 65 and you're out at 94. Okay, great. That's a great trade. If we can get anything like that here, that's amazing. But notice this took, how many months did this take? Like, let it live. Let it cook, chat. Let it cook. Let it go. So if you're like paranoid about this price, you just relax, right? Like, if you have been watching this play out, you have to treat this as the one big trade of the quarter and just let it go. Just let it go. Watch your trailing stop losses. It just broke out. You're not going to get a trailing stop loss immediately. Anything below 107 isn't what we want to see. That's the current low. But even then, like, whatever. Okay, fine. I'm not really worried about it. So you have to change your mindset if you're like this hyper got to take profit, got to be in high leverage. Just let it do its thing. This is going to take some time. And you can look at several examples of this. We can go back more. We can look at what happened in 2024 when you get fractals over and over and over again. Same story. In 23 even. Like, the market will help you out here. It'll tell you, okay, here's your trailing stop loss. You can just use the Tenkin if you want, but it's a little messy. There's a trailing stop loss. Trailing stop loss over and over and over again up here. It finally pulls you out at 66 from 42. Like, to me, that's what I like. So obviously I'm talking about what I'm using and what I do. Not everyone's going to like that, but it's going to take some time. The predetermined TA level is 140 to 160. Exactly, Marius. This is the easy part. The hard part was sizing it appropriately pre-breakout, and now the easy part's just doing nothing. Just gotta let it be. Just gotta let it be. You also have the pitchfork from 2022. Same story, same targets. It's all kind of the same stuff. Nothing really to do there. And MSTR hasn't even broken out yet. Like, I think MSTR is still below 420. 419. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you're taking profit today on this, it's like, what are you doing? What are you here for? Like, you know, you got to read the room a little bit again and say, okay, yes, this is up from 370 to 420, but is that really why I'm here? Not why I'm in MSTR. I'm in MSTR for the potential of stupidity, insanity, right? We'll see if we get it, but that's why you're in MSTR. So this still looks fine. Again, you've got this TK cross situation that we've been consolidating for a long time. And it's the same story. Use trailing stop losses, use fractals. Let's look at what happened post breakout in October 2024. Same story. Fractal higher, fractal higher, fractal higher, fractal higher, fractal higher, fractal higher at 318 there. Ooh. Fractal higher at 371, and then it finally pulls you out at 350 from 160. Like, great. Now you could have closed some here on the pitchfork as well. So you've got options. You got plenty of things to watch. All of them tell you if this takes, so this was 40 days, right? So come back in August. I'll bet you in August we have some insane volatility event, news event that rips everything down from wherever it is. But until then, you got to give it time. So a lot of it is patience. And we look at this week to week to make sure that I'm in position correctly. That's why I do this. So this hasn't even made a higher high from May, right? Like nothing's really happened yet. So it looks great. And you can say the same thing about MSTU, which is just all of the meme coins. All of the meme coin charts are this chart. All of the meme coins are 4x BTC, and that's what this is. It's 4x BTC with volatility drag. This looks great. Breakout today. That was after the launch. This thing launched in October, September 24, went up 1,000%, pulled back 90%, and now it looks ready. It took how many months? 7 months? 8 months? But it looks ready. It looks ready. Do I think this is going to go up another 1,000%? I don't think so, but I think it's going to do very, very well. Maybe 17, 18. At least the 2x. Again, like if you're sizing this appropriately and you're thinking about your total portfolio and you're not just degenerately dumping everything into this, you know, if you're using this as a leveraged BTC instrument, leveraging your leverage, then you want this to be outsized insanity. Like, so is this outsized insanity? No, it's not. It hasn't even made a higher high. So plenty of room here. Same rules apply. Trailing stop losses, targets, we can sort of fib out a guess of a target. It's going to be a mess because it is using a chart that's got volatility drag, etc. I wouldn't really chart this. I would chart MSTR and just set alerts. And we can do that right now. We can say, okay, we think MSTR conservatively is going to go to 600. Conservatively. Let's set an alert at that level. Here's 610. That would be the first level. You can even write yourself a little love note there, say like partial profit or something, whatever. But that's the zone, just blindly today, where I would say, okay, yeah, I should probably take some profit on MSTU, whatever MSTR is, right? So the price here is kind of irrelevant to me. MSTU, it's just leverage on MSTR. Speaking of leverage, do meme coins that trade like leverage have the same vol drag? So that's the interesting part, Edward. MSTU, to me, has traded better than meme coins, despite the vol drag in MSTU. And we can do this head to head. So here's the percentage from MSTU's inception. It's still up way more than Pepe, which I think would surprise some people who would think there's no way that's true. And you can look at all of these. Here's MOG. What else we got? Doge. And I think the reason this is the case is because there's more money in TradFi for this cycle than there is on chain. I also think there's less, no, there's a lot of noise in TradFi now, but there's less leverage in TradFi than there is in crypto. So because there's 35,000 meme coins or whatever, all of that is scattering the dollars, right? Whereas there's more dollars in TradFi and there's fewer leveraged instruments relative to crypto. I think that concentrates it a little bit. So if you were to look at, you know, the market cap of MSTU versus all the meme coins, maybe that's the story, but we'll just add WIF too, right? So even with volatility drag, none of these have outperformed MSTU, none of them. Now, a lot of that is BTC dominance as well, to be fair, but for the most part, MSTU is way ahead. You have to kind of zoom in the near term, but the volatility drag effect is going to be most pronounced over a long period of time. So anyway, holding MSTU has been better than holding any of these meme coins. I don't necessarily expect that going forward. If we look at MSTU relative to, I don't know, sure, this one just because I like it. Let's invert this. So this is MOG relative to MSTU. It's basically ETH BTC. It's leveraged ETH divided by leveraged BTC. So right, so it's 4x ETH divided by, not 4x ETH, 4x BTC divided by 4x BTC, right? But it's still telling you this looks good as a MOG winning chart to me. Any positions you plan to hold through August? I mean, we'll see. I could be totally wrong about August and September, and August and September could just be amazing, right? I just don't think that's going to be the case. So if you're pre-planning and you're trying to play 4D chess, you're like, okay, here's the technicals for MSTR. Here's the technicals for BTC. We've got this time frame. We've got this target. We've got this seasonality that lines us up to XYZ level at XYZ time frame. Blindly today, we're on a clock a little bit. Especially September, especially September is generally very bad. So, could be wrong, but just something to think about. My guess is into August and September, we will have reasons to start closing. I hope those reasons are hitting targets and not, bear divs or something else, but. All right, let's look at other stuff. BTC looks great. ETH looks better in that, this is back to the relative value argument. This is not a statement on ETH versus BTC. I am not a community member. I am not an ETH believer. I do like money, and that's why ETH looks like the better trade here for a small percentage of a portfolio, because it looks to be outperforming and looks to have more upside as a percentage basis. That's it. And anyone who has told you to hold ETH for the past 3 years is and should be ignored, because they have been wrong. They've been extremely, extremely wrong. So I would just keep that in mind. I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying to ignore those people because I'm not one of them. It's just the facts are the facts. This has not been the place to be. Even if this retraces the entire down move, it still wasn't the place to be. It was still the wrong move. Now, I don't think this is going to retrace the entire thing. But yeah, I think 0.35 is reasonable. We can measure this out down here. Yeah, 0.3 to 0.35, perfectly reasonable. You could even say, what is the 50% of the range? 0.5, sure, right? We can go back to this and we can pull up the VPVR for ETH BTC. Let's do it. Let's go as deep as we can. Here's ETH index divided by BTC index. High time frame, VPVR. If this works, okay. What chart is this? We're gonna mess with this a little bit. I don't know, 150, it's 50. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Row size 25. Really likes that area. I wonder if, because it is index on index, it's messing it up. Oop, I didn't want to do that. Let me just try one thing real quick. Basically, we're just trying to find where most of the volume has been. Since the down move. So yeah, we know there's a ton of volume up there. Thank you. Thank you, VPVR. Maybe I have to go like, nope, I have to go bigger. 2,000? Did I break it? I don't know. Anyways, I think most of the volume outside of the top and the bottom is somewhere around 0.5. Whatever. The cloud on this, on the daily, now this is why I like it. That's it. There's no other reason. It's not because I think ETH's going to take over the world. It's because of the technicals. If not now, then when? Now this could fail, this could go nowhere. Just like all the other times, but this is the chart you want to look at if you're looking for anything. I was looking at something else random today. Is it this? What was it? Is it REXM? Yeah. Same deal. It's above a high time frame cloud for the first time in years. Love it. This is a rare earth ETF, REMX. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm a cloud guy. I like the cloud. That's that. So if this was, I don't know, if this was AVAX BTC, like it doesn't matter what it is. Sure. Love it. Absolutely love it. You got an inverted head and shoulders here. You've got a cloud breakout. Looks perfect. Looks perfect. You don't think we top in Q4? Look, it's possible. I wouldn't like predetermine exits that far out. But yeah, you could say we've been running hot since 2022. 2026 is going to be the top. And that's that. But I don't think you need to go further than that. We could just say, okay, if we get anywhere up here in Q4, that's worth closing. If we get anywhere up here in Q4, that's worth closing. We're just looking at, you know, TA price levels. So if it so happens to get that high, then yeah, I think it's worth definitely taking some profit. And if MVRV is insane, if there's a ton of unrealized profit on chain, then it's absolutely worth it. But there's a case to be made that we just get this continuous slow accumulation and the crazy periods are over. I wouldn't rule that out. Before, you know, we were a couple weeks ago, everyone was talking about this shortened cycle, left translated, blah, 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 blah. What's the point? Like, yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Everybody wants like the perfect answer today. Do you think we'll reach 330 by 26? I have no idea on how to put the odds on 333, honestly. That price was just based on the power law. That's it. There was no other reasoning or rationale. We're certainly underperforming the power law as you'd expect it to break out. But again, the crazy part hasn't happened yet. The parabolic move hasn't happened yet. So back to this for ETH. ETH looks good. ETH looks good. I still like ETH here. I like adding ETH here. I don't think you can be afraid of 2,800. Let it pull back. I'm going to add more. I'm going to add leverage. If it does, that's just the plan. Ripple's another one. I haven't bought a dime of Ripple, but man, this chart looks good. If this goes to 5, I'm not going to be angry with myself, but the chart looks very good. Again, not a statement on Ripple, not a statement on anything Ripple is doing, not a statement on any stablecoin thing, not a statement on any ETF thing. This has nothing to do with anything else but the chart. And that's important to remember. Once the chart looks not so good, I'm not going to like it. This chart hasn't looked this good in a long time, and I didn't like it for a long time. But it finally reconsolidated back above the cloud. Everything else is breaking out. As we go down this list, there's less things that are as bullish just yet relative to even ETH. You know, just if you don't believe in BTC, fine, but start analyzing all these alts against ETH. Sol starting to break 158, 159. That's kind of the magic level on the cloud. Great. Love it. You know, the real chart isn't the USD chart. It's the BTC chart for everything, right? So does this look bullish today? Not really. It's trying to bottom. Not as bullish as ETH BTC. Ripple BTC looks pretty bullish, right? It's ready to get into the cloud. So it's a question of time horizon, time frame, which assets do you feel comfortable holding, that sort of thing. But a lot of this stuff relative to BTC, not quite bullish just yet. One I did want to look at was, go back here, BTC relative to gold. We haven't even broken out yet. So again, it's like the USD price might look the way it looks because the US dollar is dumping hard. But when you stack this up against other commodities or whatever, pick anything you want. And this has been a favorite. I tweeted about Mike McGloin today. This has been a favorite chart of his because he's saying we haven't made a new all-time high relative to gold since 2021, which is true. That's fair. But to me, the party hasn't even started yet. Like, what about this is bearish? We're consolidating again at all-time highs. This looks great. No issues. If we look at one last thing relative to gold, there's this kind of bizarre indicator. It's previous all-time highs snapshotted in like ounces of gold. So our next resistance level would be 130 based on both the 2021 all-time high and the December 24 all-time high. So it kind of gives you support resist levels relative to highs and lows in the gold price. So again, this is nothing. 113, it's a number. Who cares? But on a relative basis, looks like there's lots of room. And we can keep doing this little thought experiment. We can look at IBIT relative to the Qs. Let's go IBIT relative to TQQQ. Let's do BTC. I actually have it up here. So this broke out and then pulled all the way back. So this is saying triple tech, triple Qs has been beating BTC recently. Some of this is money sloshing around, obviously. Some of this is relative value type stuff. So even this is like, does this look insane, euphoric to anybody? No, it doesn't. Anyway, that's a lot of BTC analysis for the day. But the point is, you need a benchmark that makes sense. For alts, the benchmark that makes sense is certainly BTC. So you've got to look good on BTC here, on a BTC chart, for me to really care. And for BTC, it's kind of gold and stock, regular stock stuff. I think, do they have BTC Euro? I think they do, yeah. This is another one somebody posted. Like, we're not even at an all-time high in euros yet. Again, because the dollar's been dumping. Like, so is this a crazy level? I don't think it's a crazy level at all. And we can draw whatever we want here, right? Some sort of cup and handle again, whatever. Like, it's more a story of the dollar dumping than Bitcoin ripping, right? So far. We're not quite to the Bitcoin ripping stage, in my mind. All right, let's rip out some of these quick. Sol looks good. You know, anytime anything's this close to a cloud breakout on a daily, probably good enough. You don't have a TK cross yet. You do have a pattern. This is, to me, a pretty good case for an inverted head and shoulders there. And you're seeing that on a lot of the memes as well. A variation on that. Bonk already broke out. Whiff, great example. Bottomy, looks great. Called that one out a couple days ago. Popcat, sure. Mog looked great. Broke out. Still looks good. Even Trump has like a double bottom inception fractal down there. Shib into the cloud, bottom, good. Floki above, good. Toshi above, fine. So, you know, like, pick your poison. What do you like? What do you like? If you think BTC is going to 150, you got to think some of these other coins have plenty of room to keep going. Even Sui's above the cloud for the first time in a long while. Looks good. Looks good. Let's look at curve for Aaron. Oh, Aaron, I have some bad news. Is Aaron still here? Aaron, are you with us, Aaron? What is your target? Where do you want this to go? Is this going to be ETH is the question. That's ultimately the question if you're trading this. Let's pull it up. This is the question, Aaron. Do you believe this chart is bullish? That's the question. Not for me. Not for me. Relative to ETH, you could say this is bottomed. Maybe not even a bull div. You got to look good against ETH. Lots of people asking about hype. Sure. Looks fine. If you're bullish the rest of the year, like I keep saying with some of these meme coins, I would just buy them and forget you own them. Don't trade them. Don't put any stop losses on them. Just let them go. Treat them as a lottery ticket. Size it appropriately. If you think hype is the one, if you think this is going to 100, okay, that's a 2x. Fine. If you think some of these other memes are the answer, I wouldn't trade them. I would just let them go. They 100% in a week. Like you got to give yourself some upside. This is MOG as an example I was talking about yesterday. If your alt doesn't look like this as a complex here, strong on USD, BTC, ETH, and SOL, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Aaron? Where's Aaron? Get Aaron in here. Curve is one of these alts that is huge. I don't care about a Twitter following. Who cares? Let's look at the chart. It's the greatest equalizer. Just look at price. Just look at price. Joe. Sure. Is that on here? Oh, I'm going to love this one. It's got no price history. My favorite. Can you put me down for a few hundred million? Let's go back to here. See if we can pull it up. Get rid of that. Yeah, but hype looks fine. There was some head and shoulders concerns, but if the whole market is bullish, all tides, or all high tides lift all boats, whatever the saying is, it looks fine. That's not the question. Who cares, right? Everything's bullish. I just showed you jets, regional banks, zombie companies. Literally everything's bullish, right? What does this look like relative to BTC? Looks great. What does it look like relative to ETH? We're about to find out, but that's the question. Against ETH, it looks okay. Okay. I would just watch it. Watch whatever you're bullish. If you're bullish SOL, fine. Let's look at it against SOL. How does it look? Looks better. Better than ETH. But if you're a believer, just hold it. That's all. Wrong Joe. All right, chat, calm down. Trader Joe, this one? Is that the wrong Joe? You got to be more specific if there's multiple. If this is the chart, got to take somebody's side. Let them know. This is not what we like around here. This chart looks like garbage. Could be the bottom. Don't know, don't care. It's not for me. Reminds me of Tia. How many times in how many weeks? Now those people don't come around anymore. Tia just keeps going. Just keeps going. Could be the bottom. I don't know. I don't care. You don't have to think about it with the other stuff, right? Now it's going to look worse against ETH, dude. It's not going to look better. This is not. If this is the one, then maybe. But why is there... That makes no sense to me. I'm in disbelief. Either way, fine, whatever. You win. You got me. You got me. It's above the cloud. Fine. Let it go to infinity. It's just... Why? I assume this is the right one. We got a something like this, some sort of channel, something like that. But if you're comparing this to MOG, you're still late here relative to what I like. If you would have told me about this on June 9th, I would have said, oh my God, where's your name? Can I say that on the stream? I don't know. Oh my God, so-and-so, Mr. Blocks, what a great find. But today, it has run up a little bit. Still looks good. Looks better than a lot of this other stuff. All right, let's get through these real quick. Because somebody in the comments is going to ask me, what about so-and-so? What about so-and-so? It's below the cloud. It's below my line, literally below my line. I just don't care, right? Like, I don't care. Not until it's above. Tau still in, say looks pretty good. It is above the cloud, has held above the cloud. That's what you want. Good things happen above the cloud. Link, similar to Sol, it is teasing a move higher. Trying to get out of cloud jail, right? Where would you want this to go? At least 20. Even on Doge, you can see it. Doge and Link kind of trade the same. There's your potential W. The depth of this is well above 20. So, sure. Looks like it's about time. LTC still below. Aave still looks fine. AVAX just chilling, hanging out. There's going to be a time when it's probably like Bitcoin at 125 or something. There's going to be a time when all these alts start to catch a bigger bid because of a relative value move. I think it's just a little early on that. When these start to get above, they're close, right? AVAX, it's close, but when this really takes off, I think it'll be above 20. Curve again for Aaron, below. Okay, we're through that one. Dot, nothing to do there. Algo, close, right? Close. There's going to be a day, if you set an alert on all these charts, they're all going to pop on the same day. Most likely. Because they're all trading the same. ENA still looks like junk, unfortunately for me. Ondo, blah, Tron, trying to make a higher high, looks pretty good. Syrup, we talked about. FET, another one looks okay. TIA, no. CAS, no. Gold just chilling. Aptos, it's close, not quite there yet. Ray, close, not quite there yet. Yeah, so all this stuff, for the most part, Maker looks fine. All this stuff, for the most part, not quite there yet on the daily. So, I don't know. To me, it just makes sense to not fool around with guessing and just go with the sure thing. Buy the strength. That's for me. Doge, close. Pengu, craziness. Don't even know what to say there. Pepe looks good. Looks good. SPX 6900 looks good. WIF looks very good. Bonk still looks very good. Bonk to me, called that one out Sunday, I think, at this point, etc. So all these meme coins starting to wake up as well. Floki, another one, looks good. I would just use your own rule set of whatever you think is correct. Find that and avoid everything else. For the targets here, I would just do nothing. I would do nothing. Because I deleted it, but last time, what did we see? We saw Head and Shoulders that took 2 months to form at the top. At the bottom, we saw Head and Shoulders that took 4 months to form. Through the cloud. Through the cloud. What is there to do here? Sit back and do nothing. That's what there is to do here. So you can say, well, what about the 50%? Sure, 50% would be whatever that is, 22,000 sats or something. You could say that. You could look at the 1618 from here, also around 20,000. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. Let it do its thing. Remember, when these broke out in May, it took some time, right? It took a couple weeks. So give it at least a couple weeks. And it's gonna be volatile. It's gonna be riding the bucking bronco, dude. It's going to be plus or minus 25% on any given day for any reason whatsoever. Be prepared for that. Tia has been getting wrecked, yeah. Tia's a favorite of mine because everybody was telling me on the way down that it was super bullish, and I was pointing to the technicals that weren't. XLM, yeah. Yeah, look, to me, my true north is Daily Cloud 2061, 2030. Anything that looks like this, love it. I couldn't love it more. This is the perfect place to enter any chart that looks like this. Is this going to, what was this before? 6x? Is this going to 6x like November? I don't know. I don't know. And nor do I care. But if you're looking for an entry on any chart, it is this one. It is a daily Kuma breakout, price above cloud. Don't have a bullish TK cross yet. I think you're fine there on this, honestly. It looks great. I think XLM BTC is another one. Look at this. Look at this, chat. What does this look like to anybody? It reminds me a lot of GME. Back here. Remember this? Hilarious. Probably the most insane falling wedge you're ever going to see in your life. This is a, what, 4-year? 3-year? 3 or 4 year ascending or descending falling wedge, whatever. So yeah, you're like there on XLM BTC. Looks good. Now this really realistically ended up going nowhere. That's GME for you. You need to have a little bit of the fundamental juice. So if we're talking about rare earths, or we're talking about, that's the wrong chart again. Whatever, we're talking about platinum and palladium, we're talking about commodities, right? You need to be in the conversation of the market's zeitgeist to have a little bit of that momentum on your side. This chart looks great still to me. Oh my God, did we get invaded by like Joe Coin people? What's the deal? What's the deal? XMR looks fine. It's never going to outperform in a bull market, ever. You just have to realize that. It does well. It has an inverse correlation to everything most of the time. And that's it. Just reading chat here. Okay, let's shift gears to just legacy stuff. Let me just quickly look here. Dollar, still concerning that, as Slime says, this could be a falling wedge. I called it off first. I just want some credit so that Slime doesn't take all the credit. I called it out first. This is a falling wedge. This has the potential to break higher. Crypto doesn't care right now, but it will if this goes back to 100. The 10-year, just dancing around whatever level, looks fine. VIX getting crushed. Crypto loves this. Crypto loves VIX going to 0. This is volatility of the S&P. Crypto couldn't love this more. Huge. Helpful. Move. This is volatility of the bond market going lower. This is great for liquidity. Crypto loves it. If move if the volatility of the bond market goes below like 80, oh man, we are just gonna see, we're gonna see 120, I think. So just some other like ancillary things to watch. VIX move, 10-year. How's the S&P doing today? New all-time high today. Weird. So bearish. So bearish. Qs, I think briefly hit a new all-time high. IWM still outperforming. Still looks great. Plenty of room there. TLT, I'm going to talk about bonds in a minute. I just don't know why you'd waste your time right now even thinking about trying to touch this stuff. This is an altcoin chart, right? This is most of the altcoin charts we just looked at. It is in no man's land. It is in no man's land. So there will be a day, probably 2026, if I had to guess, there will be a day when the bond complex, once again, starts to look really, really good. And that is a massive risk off signal. You can see here, just like the VIX, just like S&P going to all-time highs, seeing this stuff, seeing the risk off bucket of the market, quiet, flat, seemingly unimportant, doing nothing. Perfect. Love it. That's what you want to see. All these charts just look like chop, right? They don't really look like much of anything. TLT certainly looks the worst among all of them. These are just bond ETFs, but I just don't know why you'd play around with that stuff right now. What else we got? Somebody was asking about Shopify. This is a Krogsgard special. Brian loves this chart. Why are we looking at this one? I don't see anything. I got nothing. I think Toast looks good. Toast looks like BTC. This is the POS system at restaurants. Sometimes you'll use this interface as well when you're ordering like to go at restaurants. Grab is another one. That looks good. Same deal. A lot of this in the market right now, for sure. This style of chart. Someone was asking about Rivian. Rivian is a ultra long-term 3 to 6 month play. So you just gotta, that's why I'm in it. You know, why anybody else trades this, I don't know, but it just needs a little time. Just not ready yet. Just not ready yet, but it looks good. Figs, on the other hand, looks great. Look at that. Look at that puppy on the 3-day. Whew. Looks great. Multi-year falling wedge. Let's check in on the K-Web, folks, shall we? Oh, that's sad. It's gone nowhere. Darn. What else we got? Anything else in Legacy Land? Lucid, yeah, Lucid. Where's my EV list? Let's rip through this real quick. Tesla, I would not touch Tesla with a 10,000 foot pole. Outside of the Elon issues, it's not above the cloud. So I don't care. It's below my line. Don't care. It's got to get back above the cloud. Rivian we just looked at. XPEV. Kind of Adam and Evie. Not great there at resistance. Mobileye, somebody was asking me about. It's looked better. I don't have a great read here. You can see these are all kind of trying to W a little bit, right? Maybe a little bit more time into July, later in July. EH. Quiet chop. Another one. Is it on my list? QD. QD, I think. I forget what this actually is. But this is another little one that's kind of sneaky. Kind of sneaky. Multi-year bottom. Anytime I've got extra, like when I trade in TradFi, and I've got a few extra bucks. I just buy this because you can. Sneaky little chart. Sneaky little chart. QuantumScape breaking out. Looks good. That's a 3-day burr. This is again a falling wedge. Something like this. Looks good. I assume it's EV, but I don't know. Neo does not look good. I'd avoid that one personally. Lucid also doesn't look so great. Polestar trying to bottom, not yet. EVAV, a leveraged EV ETF, getting close. Getting close. Kind of looks like ETH EU, doesn't it? This is leveraged ETH. This looks pretty good. I have some of this from a couple days ago. Looks good. Plug kind of broke out and went down. It's just, man, when you're seeing this, years of death, it's just hard for me to want to buy any of that. I can't even draw it with a channel. It's just like this parabolic, right? I guess the curve. We'll do a curve, something like this. Like this could be the bottom. Something like that. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That's a yikes. Uber, somebody was asking me about. Uber looks great at all-time highs here. Nothing to complain about. Plenty of room higher. Rocket Lab, same deal. Looks great. All-time highs, plenty of room higher. American Airlines, that's what I think this is. Yep. Again, you see this inverted head and shoulder stuff. Looks good. Looks good. There was something at the very beginning somebody was asking me about. Serve. Still kind of in the cloud. I like it better above. I don't really see anything here, honestly. Some of the meme coin. I guess it's a meme coin. Quantum stuff for Getty. This, if I had to guess, this will explode with MSTR, just because it's that type of risk on animal spirits stuff. This looks good. Looks really good. Leverage gold miners just look flat. All right. Any other last things before I get out of here? Plug was a big 2021 name. Seer, Rigetti. Yeah, Rigetti looks good. The White House tweeted a meme of green candles. Dumb question if you're on the sideline. I mean, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet. Say I have $100. Where do I want to deploy that? Maybe I want a little ETH. Maybe I want a little SOL. Maybe I want a little meme coins. Maybe I want to buy some today. Maybe I want to buy some tomorrow. That's how I would do it. Just put it on a spreadsheet. Say I want 50% ETH, 30% SOL, 20% meme coins. That's it. Buy some today, buy some tomorrow. Yeah, Maker looks good. Maker doesn't really move with the rest of the market, similar to Monero. I think Maker's going to get the biggest mover candle-wise after the Genius Act passes. Game AI. Is this Bambino? This is another one that's like impossible to find. Yeah, sure. Go for it. Not that, not financial advice, but the cloud is telling me to tell the community at large that the cloud likes it. The cloud is pleased. What happens if your fiat dollars and euros crash and inflate even harder? Then Bitcoin goes higher. Bitcoin goes higher. WGMI Looks good. Little flag here, a little pause. Most of this is IREN. IREN looks great. Little high and tight flag situation. I always forget the other one. It's not CoreWeave. Core's. Oof. CoreWeave. Yikes. But again, like syrup. Okay, this thing is up. Whatever it's up. 5x, 4x. Why are we jamming trades into this thing? It doesn't make sense. Not that anyone asked me about this. Not that anyone said go turbo long CoreWeave. But you got to read the room. Not only do you have a head and shoulders up here, but the cloud is also telling you no. And it's moved a lot. Circle kind of the same. Like it's still up. It's still up. So it was up 400%. It's still up 200%. Like maybe trade something else. I don't know. Just a suggestion. Cores was the one. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah. I know this was like on M&A rumors from CoreWeave, but not the place to be. But once again, this thing was also up to what, 4x? Like 3x, whatever. You just got to be careful with that stuff. It's up 3x in 2 months. Maybe trade something else. You got to be careful. I like Marathon here. I think we talked about it last week. I don't like the business, to be clear, but I love the cloud. It's like ETH for me, right? I'm not a believer in what's going on beyond what I see on the chart. That's it. Riot, fine. Bitfarms, not quite yet. Cypher, fine. BT sold all of their BTC and bought ETH. We'll see if that works out for them. Hut, fine. Hive. Hive looks like a good little late to the party laggard pick based on the daily cloud. Wolf looks great. Clean Spark looks great. I'd avoid cores and I'd be careful with IREN as well because it's up 3x from lows. So I would just be mindful of what you're trading there. But the TA still looks pretty good. Few meme stonks. Qubit. Little head and shoulders action, similar to Rigetti. I bet if you put these 4 with Rigetti in like a panel, you know, you'll see all of them trading probably the same. We can probably do that, right? We have the technology, chat. We have the technology. If I remember how to do this, make a copy. Okay, let's go to meme coins. No, hold on. We got this. Make a copy. Quantum. Ooh. All right, so the tickers are Rigetti, Qubit, Ionic. No, that's not it. IONQ and Qubits. So that one doesn't look like the others. But these all do. This is the wrong cloud, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I like IONQ here. I like Qubit. I like Rigetti. Qubit's kind of... It's already kind of moved. The other issue with these, like everything else, they are still up 1,800% from last year, still. So I would keep that in mind. probably limited upside just based on that. But if they get full on GME meme stonkery, then maybe you see some continuation as expected. If I had to pick one, it would be Rigetti. How it looks, I like that it looks like MSTR. SBET is juicy, says somebody. Oh, my favorite. No, let's not mess this up. Let's go boop-a-doop. Let's go over here. He says it's juicy based on. So it is up here. It is up 500%. Fine. Respectable. Was up 4,000%. I think it takes a special kind of individual to want to trade this stuff. I just don't have it in me. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just don't have it in me. That's all. ENS. Mara looks good. Link ETH. Oh yeah, what about Link? How's Link ETH doing? Link ETH. On Gemini. Remember that exchange? Yeah, it kind of went nowhere, huh? QSI, is this another quantum? Yeah. No. This one does not look like the others, sir. If it can get above the cloud later on, this is probably like a laggard, trade to watch. But yeah, I would just have a panel of 4, 5, 6, however many you think are in the universe. Set some alerts. Watch for the breakouts. It's the same story. That's what technicals are all about. You have a framework, and then you just take the cookie cutter and you just copy the sizing, copy the targets, copy the fibs, copy the horizontal resistance. Like, it's all the same. What are you a believer in? Santa Claus? Next question. No, yeah, Bitcoin, absolutely. Coin, I feel like ETH is a better play here personally. That could be very wrong, but like coin looks fine. How does it look relative to BTC? And then we'll get out of here. Relative to BTC, trying to break out a little bit. Maybe set an alert. Something in here. Because realistically, it's just been ranging. So either, bear with me, either this goes higher or lower, I know, but if it breaks out, that would justify buying some maybe in a bigger way. I just don't see a real great reason to do that here. And then versus ETH. Against ETH, is this toppy? I don't know. It's tough to say. How's PayPal doing? Kind of that same inverted head and shoulders small cap zombie company vibe. Say looks good. It's going to look good on the BTC pairs. I don't think we need to really look too hard. I wouldn't watch it on the weekly. I think that's too slow personally for that one, but it looks good. Alts should do better here. They should. Back to the very beginning when we're talking about zombie companies, companies with bad debt, regional banks, airlines, like everything that is altcoin like in legacy land is absolutely roofing. So yes, altcoins should do good. ARK is another barometer for that. This is like altcoin speculative insanity, right? Like, how does this look? Does this look bullish? It looks incredibly bullish. So dominance should struggle here. Alts should do better here. Dominance to me still looks plenty strong. It's not, it's not screaming Bitcoin's going to be red on the day and alts are going to be green on the day. That's not what this is telling me, but it is telling me that People are definitely trading alts in a big way. Yeah, I looked at all the crypto treasury companies yesterday. SMLR is tough because the volatility there is insane. Like, if you think volatility on meme coins is insane, this volatility is out of control. Literally day over day, it's plus or minus 10%, right? So I wouldn't trade this. If you believe in the idea of a Bitcoin treasury company, I would just hold it. I wouldn't trade it. Hold it to 140, whatever. Like, just let it be. This is not what you want to be trading. This is a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare. And if you're buying it here, what is your upside? Like, are you holding this to 50, 60? That seems silly. Like, if I'm buying it here, or if I bought it at 40, I want to see 100, 140. I could care less. Like, let this thing chop around, right? All right, two more. We'll get out of here. Min? Yeah, I think we looked at this one the other day. This looks really good. This looks really, really good. Possibly the best chart other than the rare earth, which I'm sure it's in the similar like category sector, is that rare earth ETF. This looks very, very good. You have a multi-month, multi-shouldered, inverted head and shoulders with a Kumo breakout pending on the daily. Looks very, very good. Very, very good. And you also have this commodity tailwind going on right now. Copper, we didn't look at copper. Nobody asked me, but copper miners kind of just doing whatever. What is copper futures? What is that ticker? I always forget. Is this the right one? I thought it was up a bunch. Maybe it's the wrong. Comex, maybe? There we go. Yeah, I just feel like anything you can't print is doing really well. Commodities are, what's the saying? Anything you can drop on your toe. And then there's hards and softs, and then there's metals. A lot of the softs, like the stuff you eat, a lot of that stuff has pulled back a lot, thankfully. Pork bellies, eggs, like agricultural stuff. But a lot of the precious metals, not precious metals, industrial metals, I guess you'd call them, doing very well. Silver's another one. Continues to make all-time highs. So yeah, I like anything you have to pull out of the ground is looking really good here. Looking really good here. Yeah, AAL we looked at earlier. All of the jet stuff looks good. The airlines. All right, we're fine. We'll do three more. We get out of here. Just when I think I'm done, they pull me back in. Apple, I wouldn't touch Apple personally. I just think there's better places to put your money. But you're not wrong in that this chart looks totally fine. What's your upside here? Maybe 20%, maybe 10%. Maybe there's some rotation out of Microsoft into this or Meta. Maybe there's some announcement that changes this ratio. You really have to believe Apple's going to do something that makes sense to get market share back from the leaders right now, in my opinion. But the chart is the chart. Looks okay. Yeah, REMX I just looked at. I love that one. I posted about it on Twitter. Any metal chart, anything that looks like this, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Love it. Multi-year breakout. And then target, is that what this is? Yeah. I guess. I guess. I would rather just trade leveraged ETH personally. I think this is a better chart than Target. But you have to do you. Last one, DMT. If DMT, is this right? Is it the tollway or is it transportation? DMT, you gotta let me know. He's a DMT hater. This chart looks like all of the other low cap. It's got inverted head and shoulders. Kuma breakout. Looks like everything else, which is good. Bullish, up, higher. They're printing money. Stuff has to go up. Dollar has to go down. That's the way it is. That's why we Bitcoin, folks. That's all I got for this one. Catch me on Sunday for Setup Sunday. We'll see where we're at. See if we get a little weekend party in the crypto universe. Until then,